Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr. Baher Fuad, and the subject today is understanding the Torah, or the Old Testament, or the Hebrew Bible in the context of the Quran. This is part one of this series. The Quran orders us as Muslims to believe in previous divine revelations, including the Torah that God gave to Moses, and the Injil, the New Testament, that God gave to Jesus, peace be upon them. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل من قبل هدى للناس. God is the one who sent you this book confirming previous revelations, and he sent down the Torah and the Bible before as a guidance to mankind. Also, آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. الآية في سورة البقرة chapter 2 in the Quran. The messenger believes, as well as believers believe, in what God has sent down to him and to them, and believe in all of God's messengers and books. Chapter 2 in the Quran. Also في سورة المائدة إنا أنزلنا التوراة فيها هدى ونور. We have sent down this Torah. In it is a guidance and a light. Chapter 5 in the Quran. The Quran came down in the truth in order to confirm previous divine revelations and to safeguard and to correct any errors introduced by human beings into previous divine revelations. وأنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه من الكتاب ومهيمنا عليه. Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 in the Quran. We send down this book in truth, confirming the book that came before it and safeguarding it, safeguarding in safety. Therefore, as Muslims, we believe in the Torah and in the Bible, but if there are things in the Torah or in the New Testament that runs contrary to the Quran, then we reject that part. For example, in the New Testament, the Quran rejects the divinity of Jesus and rejects the concept of the Holy Trinity, and rejects the concept of original sin. And the Quran rejects the idea in the Torah that God is a special God for the Jews, or that He and they are His chosen people and beloved forever. So that part we do not believe in as Muslims. Now, in this discussion, we are going to refer to the Torah as the Hebrew Bible or as the Old Testament, and to the Injil as the Christian Bible or as the New Testament. We are going to compare verses from the Torah to verses in the Quran to show similarities and differences. The Torah are the 5 books of Moses, and they are Genesis, and Exodus, and Leviticus, and Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These are the 5 books of Musa, or the Torah. Now, starting with Genesis, the first book, the first concept is the creation of the heavens and earth in 6 days. God said, in the beginning God created the heavens and earth, Genesis 1 verse 1, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, Genesis 1:3, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, Genesis 1 verse 5. In the Quran, this is confirmed. الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وبينهما في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش ما لكم من دونه من ولي ولا شفيع أفلا تتذكرون. الآية في سورة السجدة, Prostration, chapter 32 in the Quran. God is the one who created the heavens and earth and everything in between in 6 days and established himself on the throne. You have no protector or intercessor besides him. Will you not then be conscious and mindful of Allah? And the Quran explains the creation of the heavens and earth. قُلْ إِنَّكُمْ لَتَكْفُرُونَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَ الْأَرْضَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ وَتَجْعَلُونَ لَهُ أَنْدَادًا ذَلِكَ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رواسي من فوقها وبارك فيها وقدر فيها أقواتها في 4 أيام سواء للسائلين ثم استوى إلى السماء وهي دخان فقال لها وللأرض ائتيا طوعا أو كرها قالتا أتينا طاعين فقضاهن 7 سماوات في يومين وأوحى في كل سماء أمرها وزينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وحفظا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. الآيات في سورة فصلت, chapter 41 in the Quran. So what does it mean that the heavens and earth are created in 6 days? Obviously these are the days of God, not our days as human beings. The Quran gives us an idea. وَإِنَّ يَوْمًا عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ كَأَلْفِ سَنَةٍ مِمَّا تَعُدُّونَ. One day in the sight of your Lord is like 1,000 years of your own reckoning. And another verse, تعرج الملائكة والروح إليه في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة. The angels and the Spirit ascend to God in a day, the measure of which is 50,000 years. We do not know when the earth was created. The Quran does not tell us that. Second concept is the creation of man. In Genesis 2 verse 7, and the Lord created man from the dust of the ground and breathed life, and man became a living soul. The Quran confirms this. الذي أحسن كل شيء خلق وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون. سورة السجدة, chapter 32 in the Quran. Allah is the one who has perfected everything that He created, and He originated the creation of mankind from clay. Then He made His descendants from an extract of humble fluid, referring to semen, and then He fashioned them and had a spirit of His own creation breathed into them, and He gave you hearing, sight, and intellect. Yet you hardly give any thanks. Surah Al-Sajdah, chapter 32 in the Quran. Another concept is Eve was created from the rib of Adam. Genesis 2 verse 22. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran confirms that هو الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وجعل منها زوجها ليسكن إليها. He is the one who created you from one soul and then made its mate out of that soul in order that he may find tranquility in her. Now, in Genesis, God created man in His own image. And I honestly do not know what that means. We do not know how God looks. The Quran describes God beautiful names and attributes of perfection, And the Prophet ﷺ told us, لا تتفكروا في ذات الله وتفكروا في مخلوقاته. Do not think in the innate nature of God, but think of His attributes and His creation. When we think of the complexity and the order and the harmony in the universe, we get an idea about the power and the creativity of God. When we think that Allah created us, bestowed all His blessings on us, and that we as human beings have weakness, we make mistakes and we sin, and Allah forgives our sins and is merciful with us, we understand His nature, that He is often forgiving, most merciful. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ سَيُجْزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. الآية في سورة الأعراف, chapter 7, the Quran. To Allah belongs the most beautiful names and attributes of perfection. So call on Allah by His names and attributes and shun those who use profanity in His names. They will be requited according to what they have done. God allowed man to multiply, subjected everything on earth for the benefit of man. Genesis 1 verse 28. The Quran tells us في سورة النساء يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. O people, be conscious and mindful of your Lord who created you from one soul and created out of that soul its mate, and out of these two He created multiple men and women. And be conscious of God, to whom you are responsible and accountable, as well as your relationship. God is ever watchful over you. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 1 in the Quran. وفي سورة لقمان, chapter 31, ألم تروا أن الله سخر لكم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وأسبغ عليكم نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة. Do you not see that God subjected everything in the heavens and earth to you and to your benefit, and He made His blessings overflow to you, both apparent and hidden. In Genesis 2 verse 2, God rested in the seventh day. The Quran rejects this concept because God does not get tired, does not sleep, does not need to rest. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Allah is the only God. He is alive. Everything sustains itself from Him. He is the sustainer of everything. No sleep or drowsiness ever overtake Him. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 255 in the Quran. So to summarize, we discussed some verses in the Torah, in the first chapter of Genesis, creation, and contrasted these verses to verses in the Quran to show similarities and differences. We talked about the creation of the heavens and earth in 6 days. We talked about the creation of man, and inshallah in subsequent sessions we will continue with this. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه وادعوه إنه سميع قريب مجيب الدعاء. What I want to really hear from you is your questions and what subject matter do you want me to discuss with you. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.